he invited me out to talk to you guys and to see if I can help kind of point you guys in the right directions. This institute does a really good job. You picked the right one. I've been in the industry since probably 95, which some of you weren't even born then. You're like, no, I wasn't born then. But yeah, I've been around a while, man, and I was working at a place called, I think you guys have in Orlando. I'm from Tampa, so forgive me. You guys have Winn-Dixie here? Okay, so Winn-Dixie was around way back then, and I was stocking shelves as a young teenager, and there was a World Gym that comes into the plaza. It's kind of like Gold's Gym, but like, you know, Gold's Gym, but if you ordered them on Wish.com, that's World Gym. And so they come in, and I'll never forget it, man. It was a life changer for me. Bobby was a GM, and he had his trainers and stuff, men and women. They were just so jacked and fit, lean. Like, they walk into a room, and you just know that these people exude fitness. I mean, the great thing about fitness is that when you are in shape, people can literally see your discipline. And when you're out of shape and you're deconditioned, they can literally see your lack of discipline. And when people walk into the room and you guys are in shape and you're looking tight and right, you don't have to say anything. I don't know if you guys believe in the law of attraction. I don't know if you believe in karma. I don't know if you believe in God or Allah or the universe. But I think we all can probably agree that beyond the five senses, touch, taste, sight, smell, sound, there's other senses out there. And what I believe is there's a frequency that every one of you give off. It's the reason why you guys know things and you don't know why you know them, right? It's the reason why you're walking down the street and you can't hear or see anyone behind you, but you know there's someone behind you. There's something else that the universe or the spirit world gives off, and that when you walk into a room, sometimes you'll walk into a room and you'll see someone and you already know you like them. Sometimes you'll walk into a room and you'll see someone and you go, I don't like that one. I don't like him. The reason I don't like him, I don't like that SOB, right? I don't know what that is, man, but I will tell you this, when you are in good physical shape, that vibration that you give off to the world exudes to everyone and they want to be around you. Doors open up for you. As shameful and as bad as you might want to make an argument that it is, people who are in shape have a few more opportunities than people who are deconditioned. The world treats you better. If any of you have been deconditioned and overweight, and you're no longer in bad condition, in a much better condition, you'll say it yourself. You're treated differently. As a coach in fitness, you'll be treated differently. People will look at you not only for knowledge, but for inspiration. They'll look at you, you know what you guys are also? Besides a great brain, you're also a therapist. You don't even know it yet. You will, though. You will. You'll learn. You will have to wear a lot of hats. When Bobby and that team walked into my Winn-Dixie, I knew right away there was something special about him. So I developed a relationship with Bobby and his team over a few months, and they saw my personality and said, dude, you got to come work for us. I don't know nothing about it. I'm 6'6", 175 pounds of skin and bones. I would like to be more attractive to women, but I don't know what to do. He said, listen, come over, I'll start you off, and we work your way up. So I went over there, I started mopping floors at a World Gym in the mid-90s. Got my personal training certificate, best thing I ever did, became a personal trainer, then a personal training manager. Then I wanted to run in low locations, so I got into sales. So I started selling memberships. And then I became the assistant, and then the sales manager, then the GM, and then on and on and on and on. And I've got a 20-plus year career now that exemplifies a great journey. A great journey, man. Doors have opened up. I've met people. Everything that I've ever accomplished in my life can be pointed back to fitness in some degree. I've done some extraordinary things, man. I've wrestled for the WWE's farm system, won the hardcore championship belt in the early 2000s. I've been on TV. I've been in movies, reality shows, commercials. I've done modeling for fitness magazines. None of that could have ever been possible without this. Nothing. Who the hell am I? I'm some nobody from Newport Richey, Florida, that just decided to chase a passion in fitness, and I took the ball and I ran it and never looked back. And I've not only accomplished a lot of things personally, but that pales in comparison to the amount of influence I've had on the world around me, the people that I've affected, the clients that I've had. I've changed lives in a way, I don't know if I could have ever done that with any other job. I've saved lives, literally saved lives. I've had people come to me and say, Jimmy, before I met you, I'll be honest with you, I was thinking about self-deleting. Jimmy, to be honest with you, I've been married for 15 years and I step out of the shower sometimes and I don't like what I see in the mirror. Jimmy, to be honest with you, I don't think my husband even finds me attractive. Powerful. And I've moved them to greatness. I've moved them to becoming the men and women that they wanted to be, that was inside of them, that they aspired to be. And all they needed was someone to believe in them. That's all they needed. If your clients have this, that's all you need. You've got this. That's your job. They've got this. You can't train. If someone doesn't want it, you're going to struggle, man. But if they want it, you've got this and they got this, you guys will make the best team of the world. And you will create change. I've saved lives, not only metaphorically, but literally. 4 people died in my club over the last 20 years. 4. 3 of them, heart attacks. They either needed to have the surgery so that way they would not have a heart attack, or they had the surgery and they came back too hard. None of them were my clients. They were all just members. They should have had a trainer. So, is any of you guys CPR AED certified? Excellent. Don't ever let it lapse. Well, and I believe in Florida you have to be by law, I think now. And there's a reason for it, because sometimes it unfortunately happens. And having a good level head and be able to assess emergencies and be able to handle chaos in a controlled manner. Controlled chaos is going to be the difference between someone being here in 5 minutes or not. Being a good leader and having people respect you to where this guy goes, hey, you grab the AED and you go call 911 and you do me a favor, crowd control for me as you do compressions. Well, and if no one respects this guy, they're probably not going to listen to him, but they know him. He's always there, so they're going to listen. And he's going to go grab the AED and he's going to call 911 and he's going to crowd control. And they come back, and I remember 2 I saved and 2 I lost. There was one guy who was in the sauna. Oh man, he was in trouble. He was in trouble. His wife gave it to him because 2 months before she came into my office and said, she pulls her husband into the office and says, are you the manager here? I'm like, oh God, here we go. Yes, ma'am. Can you please tell my husband to not be in the sauna for so long? Sir, don't be in the sauna for so long. And they all laugh, and I go, how long are you in the sauna for? He goes, oh, not that long. She goes, tell him. Like 45 minutes. And I'm like, whoa. I said, did you see the sign outside the sauna that said 15-minute time limit? Yeah. I got to ask, just out of curiosity, why 45 minutes? Well, because I lose weight. Right. That's exactly what I said inside too. And I don't have to go down the reason why. That's just absolutely absurd. You guys already know. And if you don't, you haven't been paying attention. So I explained to him that that's not quite the case. You're not losing body fat. You might be losing weight, but as soon as you eat or drink something, the water will come right back, which is why you have to do it 3 times, 4 times a week, sir. And it's not good for you. I would not recommend it. Now, I can't be here and monitor everyone who comes in the sauna. But his wife loved him. He was naive and stubborn, like men sometimes are. Continued to do what he does. 2 months later, he's in the sauna for 45 minutes. He's in by himself. He stands up, takes 1 foot, and dies. Dies. Face first. Boom. The only thing that saved him besides Jesus was the fact that when he fell, his head hit the door and left it just slightly ajar. So when people walked by, they saw a person on the floor. If he had passed out in the sauna, he would have been 5 times his size, and we would have had to pull him out with a corner. But his head hit the door, luckily, and it was just slightly ajar. So when people saw him, they were like, what the hell? And they opened the door and they saw he was dead. So I come over, we pulled this slimy body out. I started doing compressions. He was gone. He was gone. They brought back the AED. I hooked it up. I saw there was no pulse. They recommended a shock. Everybody stand back. I hit the button. His body goes, he goes, like you would see in the movies. Craziest thing in the world. Came back. I don't know which one was more impactful for him. The fact that he saw the light and came back to us, or the verbal tongue lashing his wife had given him. But nonetheless, Jesus will solve that day, right? So it's an interesting career that you guys chose. And as a hiring manager who has hired hundreds, I will tell you that in the makes a difference on where you go. If I can give an analogy, you've got community college type of certificates and you've got Yale. I have talked to this guy here this week, last night, and I've talked to, I don't know, maybe 4 other people for jobs over the last, just yesterday, and probably a dozen over the last couple of days. And everyone wants to be a trainer, man. Everyone wants to do what you do. And the first thing I asked, and I think I asked you this question too, I say, are you still interested in applying for a position? Yes. And the next question I ask, I get right to it, is do you have an active personal training certification? 7 out of 10 say no.
Wow.
Yeah.
They want to be personal trainers, but don't.
Everyone wants to be a lion until it's time to do lion shit. So everyone wants to be a trainer. They want to conquer the world. They want to save the world. They want to be the guy, the gal. But they're not willing to put the work in. They're not willing to invest like you guys did. So I don't even entertain it. What I'll do is I'll say, listen, I can start you at the front, start you off in sales. You can get your certification, we'll talk. Because I'm not gonna, come on. You're either gonna do it or you're not gonna do it. But for the rest of you who have your certification, then I say, great, well, let's set up a phone interview. And on the phone interview, I was going to ask you as well, but I already know now, what cert you got? It's not gonna be an automatic disqualification, but there are certifications out there, fellas, ladies, that we do not recognize. So you can spend the money, you can spend the time, but if you have it, sorry, that's not one of the 6 or 8 that we recognize. Because there are plenty of people out there who are willing to take your money and put you through a BS course, but there's not a lot of people who have prestige. Whenever I see the certificate come through, and I just showed Pat, I said, hey Pat, I got one of your guys who wants to interview. Who is it? And I pulled up my text and said, remember that guy? He goes, oh yeah. And Chris, you gotta tell me about this guy later on. I need the inside scoop. As soon as I see this certificate, I already know right now what you guys had to go through. I'm not saying you're guaranteed a job, but I'm saying it's yours to lose. It's yours to lose. Because if you're willing to put this much money, time, and effort, energy into it, you're serious about it. That's what I'll say. So, what I want to do today, guys, is I want to answer some of your most common questions. I want to give you the inside scoop on the business, the industry, and I want to help shed some light to maybe some things that might be in the shadows. We're going to not talk too much about all the ins and outs of the human body today. You guys have the professionals to do that, so let's talk about the things that maybe they don't teach you that much in here. So let's talk about what gyms to go to and work for. How much money can you make? How do you build a book of business? How do you market yourself? Does leads come to you? Do you have to do it yourself? Is there any room for something beyond a trainer? Things like that. Would that help you guys if we talked about those things, or you guys want to talk about something different?
Yeah.
That's not for us.
Okay, so that's what I would assume you guys would want to know. The professionals will take care of all the other stuff. Let me help you take care of the real world stuff. Before we move forward though, let me give you my contact information, okay? I'm here because my goal is to build a relationship where I can hopefully have first dibs on the best of the best, the top gun, if you will. So my hope is that we build a relationship to where when you are ready, you reach out to me and go, Jim, you may not remember my face, but we talked and I'm ready. And then I'll say, here's what I've got, and let me set you up with my general manager and you guys can have a interview. My personal cell phone number is area